Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today with a very special 5-on-5 friendly challenge scrim recap between Onehive and North Remembers family, guys. Super excited about this one. I'll get into all the genesis of this entire event in just a second, but here are the rules. It's 5-on-5. You can see the town hall compositions, 2 attacks each, 2 defenses each. Each player has 5 minutes, and the team captain may assign the attacks in any order. The most stars overall wins. And if there's a tie, the most 3 stars win. If there's a tie on 3 stars, it's a Town Hall 11 face-off. The winning team gets $100 to disperse amongst its winners, and that's about it, guys. So the format of today's episode is kind of going to be, I'm going to go through and play the first few attacks from this scrim, and as I do so, I want to talk a little bit about this event, how it came to be, a little bit of the rules and how I came up with them as compared to the one that was just hosted in Helsinki. YouTubers versus Reddit. You guys may have seen the live stream there. I actually checked it out myself. And also want to talk about a few improvements to Friendly Challenge that I feel could really help little events like this. So what I'm going to do is, just to set the table here, I want to go over the roster so you know what's going on in the background right now. And then in the second half of this recap, or maybe even the second 2/3 of this recap, we'll really get into this match. I'll put the score up on the screen and you can see play by play how this event ended, because it did indeed come right down to the wire at the end. Really exciting ending to this match. So let's kind of start with both rosters here. So representing Team Onehive were the following. Drum roll, please. Sloffels, hailing from the Netherlands, co-leader for 10 months, favorite attack, Shattered Hobo. Next up is Megan Mo Money, aka the Sexecutioner, Texas, USA. Elder, 11 months. We have Duche, the team captain from New York, USA, co-leader 16 months. We have IU Jimmy, Indiana, USA, 5 months in Onehive. And then we have Quee, Chicago, USA, 1 month in Onehive. Queen Walk into Valk is the favorite attack. Now let's cover North Remembers roster. So starting with Larry, the team captain, hailing from USA, co-leader from North Remembers, 9 months in the clan. We have Sinner's Demise from the UK, co-leader from North Remembers, 16 months in the clan. Fatty from New York City, USA, North Watchers co-leader, 2 years in the clan. And Captain Donut, Florida, USA, North Remembers Elder, 3 months in the clan. And last but not least, Holy Buck 27, aka Dylan, West Virginia, USA, North Watchers co-leader. And that is our rosters for this arranged little friendly challenge scrim, guys. So now that you've met both of the teams a little bit, let me tell you about how this idea came to be. So I was watching the whole Reddit versus YouTube friendly challenge showdown in Helsinki, Finland about a week or a week and a half ago, and you know, much love and respect and props to all those guys who took part in the event. Galadon and Pat did a good job hosting, and I tuned in to see obviously Alvaro and Powerbang, my buddies there, and I kind of thought to myself, you know what, this can be done better format-wise. So there were really 3 things that I really wanted to change from the Reddit versus YouTuber format and kind of make it for a more competitive event idea. And this attack here actually illustrates that first point very well, because what I wanted to do is bring an element of strategy to this contest, whereas it really matters a lot who dips down and goes for 3 stars, what order that you show your bases to your opponent. Remember, everybody has to attack twice, and everybody has to defend twice. I totally gave the team captains full autonomy in choosing what base designs they share, in what order they share. I want to leave that all up to the teams. I don't want to dictate that myself. Basically, my thought process being, I don't want to get in the way of anything that these teams want to do here. I want to give them as much autonomy as possible. I don't want to micromanage these teams. And let's talk a little bit about these teams. They were both on their own TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever. They were both talking to each other throughout this entire event, so they had their own little war room set up so they could actually coordinate things on their ends. So on to the second point that I wanted to bring to this event, and that would be, and I can't stress this one enough, guys, is I wanted really solid defensive bases. I wanted the best bases in the game. By the way, guys, if you're looking for some good layouts, go ahead and snag one of these, because these are the best that Onehive and North Remembers family has to offer. So the idea here is I wanted to kind of stay take a step back away from the clan war mindset where 3 stars wins wars, and I want to really put some of that inherent value that used to be there on 3-star attacks back into the contest. So a 3-star should be something to really celebrate. So what I did was, I want to make this event as difficult as possible for all of these attackers, and it really gives the event a little bit more gravity, and it really makes it seem more challenging, offensively speaking, than you see in normal clan wars. So how did I do this? Number one, obviously the bases are a million times more challenging than you saw in the Reddit vs YouTubers event. Number two is I only gave these teams 5 minutes to plan who's going to attack, to fill their clan castle troops, to gem their entire army up, and to actually hit that attack button. So very, very little planning time. A lot of this just comes down to being purely instinctual on your attacks, because really you had a chance to look at the base, to gem your army, and that's pretty much it. So this is going to actually bring us to one of the nicer attacks in the first half of this war. It's Sloffles for Onehive, using a little CB go bow ho here, and basically these Town Hall 9 attacks actually have gone from being somewhat irrelevant. I shouldn't say irrelevant, but you know how clan wars are with Town Hall 9s. You can't win a war with Town Hall 9s in most clans depending on your composition, but you can certainly lose wars with Town Hall 9s. So this is actually a really cool attack here. It gets the bowlers to the core of the base, really nice funnel there, able to save the king, gets him directed to the core. Unfortunately, those healers get off of the queen. They lock onto one of those golems, and really here it's not going to be the end of the world, because the queen is actually in a pretty low density zone in terms of firepower there, so she's just going to go to town there. The bowler's doing their work under the rage spell, while he trickles in about half of his hogs from each of the flanks, sitting on about a half dozen here to go in from the back end. So really nice attack here, and you can see the queen's kind of stuck on a wall, but at this point the healers on that golem are really providing a lot of cover fire for the hogs. So I want to say that Onehive used this CB Goba Ho on all their Town Hall 9 attacks with the rage spells instead of heal spells. So if you're looking for an army to use in a pinch, maybe you might want to do what Onehive does and use this. Actually, I want to say that North Remembers used the same army comp as well on their Town Hall 9 attacks. I think a few might have involved 2 golems, so maybe a shattered variation. I think there was actually 1 stoned Goba Ho, I believe, but don't quote me on that. We'll actually see coming up, but you can see that obviously this is kind of a go-to army comp for not a lot of time to planning for both teams here in this event, and it certainly worked out pretty well. This is a very nice 3-star attack here by Sloffles from Onehive. Again, guys, not a lot of time to plan on these attacks. I think it's really a lot of people in chat understood. Jake, by the way, very kind to live stream this entire event last night. I'm actually recapping it the next morning because, boy, these recaps take a lot of time. 20 attacks to sift through, guys. It's actually a lot of attacking going on in a short period. It only took 2.5 hours, so there's pretty much constant attacking, and that was really the third thing. I kind of got off point there a little bit, but the third thing I wanted to bring into this event, guys, was to keep the speed moving. I think they did a good job of that in the Helsinki tournament, but it was really important to me that we kept that speed going for this live stream as well, because I wanted this to be very entertaining to watch instead of having like 20 minutes to a half an hour downtime before the viewers could see these live attacks. So those were really the 3 things. A lot of strategy, the best defensive bases in the game. Remember, this game is really about offense and defense, but because of Clan Wars, we tend to forget that. We tend to focus 99% on offense, 1% on defense, at least a lot of clans do, and I really wanted to bring defense back, so that's why I really made it important that people focused on their defensive layouts here and made it as challenging as possible, and it brings in all sorts of ideas and strategy into the event. So look at here, Jimmy is attacking right now, Jimmy from Onehive, and he's attacking into Sinner's Demise, and he chooses to go directly into the Town Hall, bringing 2 freeze spells for the to protect the bowlers as they get to the core of the base. He's going to also bring a heal spell, a really nice move here to get the bowlers back up to full health in between the time that the Infernos are being frozen. So a really smart attack here. It's not going to be a 3-star, but you can see it's possible the 3-star with this type of attack strategy if the AI goes perfectly. But the worst case scenario is you're going to definitely get a 2-star. You're going to see that that's really important to make sure you at least get 2 stars on all your attacks, because remember, guys, there's no cleanup here. People can show 2 separate, totally different bases for each of their defenses, so there's no go clean up and pick up the extra stars. It's not like Clan Wars. If you get 1 star, that's it. 1 star star on the board, that attack is done. So you really have to get used to the different strategy that's involved in this, as opposed to a clan war-like feature that we currently have in the game. Now, as you watch the end of this attack here, as Jimmy just cleans up at this point, trying to get more percentage, although the percentage doesn't really matter at this point, but you never know what's going to happen. You might as well finish out the attacks. But I do want to mention a few things that we really need badly if Supercell is going to allow us to try to do these events with the least amount of hassle possible. And I think without a doubt, the biggest thing that Supercell needs to give us if they want to see more of these friendly challenge events without us having to jump through a million hoops to make them happen is there needs to be a way to just fill your own or set your own defensive and offensive clan castle troops. Especially defensively, it shouldn't have to cost troops. You shouldn't have to be gemming and switching up your entire clan castle composition for every single friendly challenge. Defensively, just allow us to put whatever troops we want to in our clan castle. I mean, offensively, you don't have to expend any of the troops that you actually use in these friendly challenges. So why do you have to expend, the defensive troops? It doesn't make any sense. Also, come on, Supercell, you need to give us heroes available during these defenses. It's really a shame that we have to gem up the heroes, or I should say that the teams have to gem up the heroes between every single one of these attacks after they've gone on defense. I mean, I'm like an elephant in my memory, guys, and I do remember that on a Chief Pat Jonas interview that he had on his channel about maybe about a year ago now, I remember that Jonas said, guys, listen, no heroes while they're upgrading in Clan Wars, but if we add any additional features to the game, we'll definitely strongly consider allowing people to use their heroes while they're upgrading and not have to deal with a regen time. So kind of throwing that back in his face right now. Hopefully they do add that in the coming update. I know they have a lot of plans to work on and improve friendly challenges. I think the clan castle situation is paramount, and it's a really small change to allow players to actually utilize friendly challenges. There's a lot of other things they could add as well. One of those obviously being that they could simply just give us the ability to have the friendly challenge up all the time. Having the player have to be online or the friendly challenge disappears really is a hassle. There ought to be a way that you can just go ahead and attack bases and practice at repetition without having to have the defender actually be online at the time. They ought to be able to give us default bases at the very least. Something like that would be really easy, and it would definitely benefit us hosting little events like this. So this is a really nice attack here by Dylan, especially, again, guys, considering A, the base, and B, the fact that he didn't have any time to plan it out. He had a really long queen walk, and he was able to bust her in there with some wall breakers and a jump spell, take down that Inferno Tower in the southwest, and then send in the mass miners from around the eastern part of the base. He's actually going to get both Inferno Towers down, which is obviously the #1 goal on these mass miner attacks. Usually when you can take down one Inferno Tower with just the queen walk portion of the attack, you're looking pretty good, probably at a 3-star, but unfortunately, Dylan loses his queen right here. Pretty defensively tough area there around 9 o'clock on this base, but his miners are going to stay alive. The healers do go ahead and migrate over to the miners. Unfortunately, again, they get right in the range of that air defense there, and the healers go down, and without the healers, the miners aren't going to be able to pull off this 3-star, but a very nice attack nonetheless. As we transition to the next attack and pay more attention to the actual recap here and how things went down towards the end, I do want to share a little bit about how I came up with this idea. So after I saw the Helsinki tournament, I messaged Onehive and North Remembers because I had a previous relationship with the leaders of both clans, and my idea was, initially I thought maybe I'll make it Elite Nation versus Onehive or something like that, or Elite Nation versus WHF. I had that kind of idea, but then I thought to myself, you know what, we just did an Elite Nation or a Clash with Ash versus Onehive clan war matchup. Why not get as many clans in the community involved as possible? And I do want to continue doing this type of event, so I want to take clans. They don't have to be elite war clans by any stretch, although they can be, and I want to take clans that are well known in the community, people who take the time and effort and energy to actually engage in this awesome community. I want to reward them by giving them highlights of their best 5 attackers go head-to-head with another clan. So that was the whole concept and how this thing came to be. So now let's transition. I'm going to put the score on the board right now at the time of this attack. See, North Remembers has a 1-star lead and there's only 4 attacks left after the results of this attack. So if Karam can get a 3 stars right here, it gives North Remembers a pretty comfortable 4-star lead. However, it's important to remember that Onehive still has a Town Hall 11 attack, Megan Mo Money, aka the Sexecutioner, so we'll see how this one plays out here. Karam starts off with a nice long and safe Queen Walk. He uses 1 rage spell on the Queen Walk, the other rage spell used on the core. He has 2 jump spells, basically allowing the bowlers to access the entire core of this base, slowly make their way towards the enemy king and queen, and then he has plenty of hogs that he kind of trickles in here surgically along both the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock quadrants of the base, basically just allowing these hogs to do a lot of the heavy lifting on the perimeter there, while the bowlers take out most of the entire core of the base, and then he sends in the rest of the hogs, and look at this, few wizards left for cleanup, makes very, very easy work of this base, makes it look really easy. Again, can't stress enough how difficult it is to get all the work done, filling the clan castles, dipping out of the clan to fill the defensive clan castles, getting your next challenge up, figuring out who's going to attack next. There's a lot of work to be done in 5 minutes, and of course I talked to both of the teams afterwards, and they both said the same thing. Man, it is absolutely hectic and crazy on our end. I'm sure they all had one of those like brain freeze headaches after this event, because it's basically non-stop. They're doing something. They're planning for their next attack. They're planning who's going to defend next for their team. There's a lot of strategy that goes into an attack like this. So to get you guys caught up, here's the score now. North Remembers 16, Onehive 12. Onehive has 2 attacks left. North Remembers has 1 attack left, but it's a Town Hall 9 versus a Town Hall 9. So basically a lot of pressure right now on Megan Mo Money to convert this 3-star. I want to say it's the only dip of the war. I think it is. So basically if she doesn't get this 3-star here, all North Remembers needs is 1 star to lock things up here. So basically creating a really nice funnel. She's going to come in from the northwest with a mass miner and bowler attack. So let's see how she tackles this base. Starts out with a lot of patience, using minions, baby dragons, really establishing this funnel for the bowlers and the heroes here. The objective is going to be, obviously what she's trying to do is take down that northwest Inferno Tower, using the bowlers in the hero portion, and then send in the miners. But unfortunately, a really smart move here by North Remembers, putting up a pretty decent anti-bowler, anti-miner base, and putting the golem in the clan castle, really trying to hold up those troops as they engage that Inferno Tower. Forces Megan to use the Eternal Tome ability right off the bat there, while they finish up with that golem, finally take down that Inferno Tower. Fortunately for her, the heroes make their way to the center of the base, but they forget the queen. The queen is kind of hanging around the perimeter there. She's going to go down at the hands of that cannon right now. So now it's really just time to rely on the rest of these bowlers and miners for the most part. The Grand Warden is being targeted by the Expo, so the Grand Warden's time is almost up as well. He goes down right about, oh, look at that last minute save there by the Grand Warden. Just at the last second, he gets out of range of that Expo, and the Expo switches off to one of those miners. So actually right now, it looks a little bit closer than it's actually going to be. She uses the heal spell, just barely catching those miners in that heal spell radius, and you can see at this point in the raid, things are looking like it might not be panning out too well. Miners going everywhere, it seems, but that Inferno Tower. But check this out, man. She has a ton of miners, and you guys know how deceptive these miners can be. Sometimes when they're clumped up and they're underground together, it looks like there's maybe a half dozen of them, but in reality, there's 20 of them. So you can see that was the case in this attack. So Megan making things very interesting here. Updated score is now going to be 16-15, going in with only 1 attack left. So if North Remembers can get a 3-star in this next attack, they'll lock up the victory for the North Remembers family. So this is really, really huge coming up right now, and it's going to be all on Captain Donut. Now, I didn't bring you this earlier, but Captain Donut actually, I think he 1-starred or 2-starred his first attack, so now the pressure was really on to convert and get this 3-star to try to lock it up for him. Now, remember, if he doesn't lock up this next Town Hall 9 attack, attack. You can see 1 minute left. This is the base he's going to be attacking here. Oh, and by the way, guys, I forgot to mention this in the rules, but if the attacking team goes above or beyond their 5 minutes allotted time for attacking, they're given a warning first, and then they're deducted 1 star from their total. So it's a pretty aggressive policy, all in the efforts to keep this event moving along for the viewers watching this stream. And we have over 400 people watching on Jake streaming this this event. So really cool at this point. So we're down 1 attack left each. The score is actually, it was off by 1. I apologize, guys. The score is actually 17-16, not 15-16, but either way, it's still the same. So you can see here, Captain Donut is now attacking, and this is for all the marbles, guys. Keep in mind that Onehive does have 1 attack left, but if Captain Donut 3 stars right here, that's it. That's the ball game. So he does something very smart. He makes sure he at least gets 2 stars here. So he goes right into the town hall with the queen and the wizards to start off this attack. Because remember, if something unforeseen happens and Captain Donut was only able to get 1 star here, well, then Onehive could actually come back and win instead of taking things to overtime. And remember, overtime comes down to the amount of 3-star attacks, which we're currently tied on. So it would actually come down to a Town Hall 11 head-to-head battle to decide the winner of the match. So this is actually a really unorthodox way that Captain Donut decides to hit this base. You can see the Queen Walk getting a lot of value, but it's also taking a lot of time. With the Queen Walk, he takes out not only the Town Hall, not only the Clan Castle, but also both of the opposing heroes, only using 1 rage spell to keep her up, obviously keeping the Queen very clear of those 2 expos, which are both concentrated around the southeastern part of the base. So now it's time to attack from the opposite end of this base, and look at the Queen there. If you can track her progress throughout her Queen Walk, you'll see she's basically going to make her way all the way from 12 o'clock all the way to 6 o'clock on this base. So a really valuable Queen Walk. The only real question in my mind at this point is, did it take too long? There's only a minute and 30, a minute and 20 left right now. So here come the bowlers. Here goes that jump spell. And as soon as the Barbarian King and the bowlers get to this little jump spell, get to the core of the base, he's going to start flanking them with his 2 groups of hogs, basically trying to clear this base in a big sweeping motion from 6 o'clock all the way to the Queen over there at 9 o'clock. And here it comes. A lot of hogs here using that heal spell immediately once they engage that really tricky defensive concentrated area in that southern compartment there. The hogs do run into a little bit of a hiccup there, having to go against an Inferno Tower and that Wizard Tower up near the bowlers in the north there. But look at this. The rest of the hogs are all still alive from that southern flank. They make their way easily onto that air sweeper, and now it's just going to be a matter of time. Now you can barely see it right up here, guys. You can see there's a Tesla in a builder's hut, a Troll Tesla in the north, there's a Troll Builder hut in the far west. So at this point in the raid, I'm thinking there's probably not enough time. I mean, now the hogs are heading up north, but there's only 20 seconds left. Thankfully, these hogs actually have time probably to run all the way over to around 9 o'clock to take down that builder's hut, but does the Queen have enough time to take out the rest of these buildings? Well, it is only an army camp, a gold mine, and a barracks. Luckily, that hog is on the barracks. The rest of the hogs are getting to the builder's hut, and it's 3, 2 seconds left on the clock, and Captain Donut pulled it off with the impressive 3-star attack, and that's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. That puts it out of reach for Onehive, so the final score isn't actually done yet, because it's up to Onehive if they want to concede the match or play things out. Just for the interest of time here, they did indeed decide to play things out, and the final score was, drumroll please, North Remembers 20, Onehive 17. So hats off to North Remembers. It was actually closer than those 3 stars might indicate up until the very end there. You guys saw it. So huge shout out to both of the clan families for making this happen and putting up with my organization qualms throughout the entire week. I'm very happy that it all came together really flawlessly. It seemed like people who watched the stream, and again, a huge shout out to Jake for streaming this, but it seemed like everybody who watched really enjoyed the fast-paced nature of the attack. So hopefully Supercell can listen, maybe add some of the changes that would make these easier to go ahead and host and conduct on our own. And guys, thanks so much for watching the recap. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.